this next one's called Where My Anagrams At? What is an anagram? Well, two words are anagrams of each other if they both contain the same letters. For example, ABBA and BAB, B-A-A-B, are anagrams because they both have two A's and two B's. The second example is also true. They have the same characters, just in different orders. The third example is false because notice there's a third B introduced in the second word. And the last example is false because the second example has a C, or I'm sorry, the second word has a C in it and the first word does not. It has two B's instead. And you've probably played games with word games with anagrams, so hopefully you're familiar. Write a function that will find all the anagrams of a word from a list. You'll be given two inputs, a word and an array with words. You should return an array of all the anagrams or an empty array if there are none. For example, with ABBA, we matched AA double B and double B double A, so we returned an array with those two elements in it. You're making an array and populating it with the elements that match for being an anagram. That's the idea. And with laser, right, there was none, so you just have an empty array. With racer, it matched with carer and racer. So word matches are anagrams as well. So go ahead and fill this one out. Come on back when you're ready. And you know I'm going to link. And so I'm going to do something that might not be the most efficient, but it'll only take me a minute to write, and it makes the problem easy to think about. What I'm going to do is essentially sort the characters and all the words that I look at, and then I can just see if they're equal, right? If I had A, ABBA, and BAB, right, and if I sorted those characters in order, they would come out as AABB for both of them. And then I can simply say, is the first AA double B equal to the second AA double B? And in that case, it would be. So let's do that. To start, I'm going to take the original input word that we're searching against, and I'm going to sort it in order in case it's not already. It's likely not. And to do this, we have a link method. We know strings are enumerable, and we've used this pretty recently, order by. Remember, it will sort. This one does in ascending order, and there's also a descending method if you want to go the other way. But ascending's fine here. I'll use CH for a character, order by, and I don't have to do anything special with the character. I just want to sort the characters themselves in the word. And so with this, of course, it returns an enumerable collection, but I need to make a string out of it. And one way we can do this is just by saying string concat, and it will do the magic of taking this collection and combining it into a single string. I think in the past I've done this where I instead did something like made it into a character array and then used the string constructor, which has a bunch of overloads and it can work with character arrays. So you can do it that way too. If you prefer, the other one's a little shorter, I think, so I'm going to use that. String concat. Okay, so good. I have this ordered version of this input word, and I'm going to iterate over the collection of words now. I'm going to sort each of those as I encounter them, and I'm going to compare it against the ordered word that I made here. If it's a match, then I know it's an anagram. So to do that, let's take words, and for this, we're going to want to use something to filter out the words that aren't anagrams, right? We want to keep the ones that aren't and filter out the ones that are not. And so what link method does this remind you of? Where, right? And we can give that a lambda that contains a predicate that sort of says which words to keep and which ones not to. So for mine, I'm going to use str for my parameter name. Each element in words is a string, right? So I'm using str just to say the string element that I'm dealing with. That's my parameter name. Now onto my method body. And for the method body, it's going to be the same kind of idea I did up here. In fact, I'll even copy it. And I'll, of course, change it. Instead of ordering word, we want to order string, right? The element, whatever element we're looking at. We're going to go over each of them one at a time. And for each one, sort of alphabetize them, order the characters, right? And then to get that Boolean condition, that predicate I need, I'm going to see if that's equal to ordered word, right? If it is, we hit a match. And so at this point, right, it's going to, let's see, let's get my other parenthesis. It's nice, you know, notice it's kind of subtle, but they'll put a square around the parenthesis that you match with. So that can be helpful when you're matching these. Notice how when I erased it came back here. So this little help. Anyway, so at this point, I have a collection of strings. And the problem is that this enumerable collection won't match with our method signature here. It's expecting a list of string. And we know that these enumerable collections have a method to convert to an array or to a list in this case. So we will convert it to a list. So let's go ahead and run that. List. Oh, look at this. No namespace for list, even though this was something they put in. Come on, man. If you're going to use list of string, you could have at least put the library in that you needed. We know from doing this that it's system collections generic, so that should take care of that error. Control enter to submit again. Operator equals cannot be applied. What did I do here? String. Oh, I see what I did. So if you want to pause, this would be a good chance to see the subtle but very important error I made. Otherwise, I'll go fix it. Parenthesis placement matters, right? So like I needed this unit to be all together to sort of order the string element that I'm examining at any point, and then I got to make a string out of it, right? Because string order by is just that collection of characters, and then with string concat, I actually convert that to a string. So I want to take what I have highlighted, this string, compared to this string. So yeah, I botched the parentheses pretty bad there. Let's try that. Well, it fixed, and my control enter actually submitted the solution. So I didn't mean to submit it that early, but you have this on tape. You can see it. We can go ahead and take a look. What else was done? We see some order by here. That's kind of cool. Sequence equal, that would have been, that's something to look at. Yeah, another sequence equal. They made a nice helper method here to check if a word's an anagram. So that's kind of cool. Something to think about. You could think of the solution that I did as being wasteful. You know, I did a lot of word letter sorting in there, and you could imagine if you took another approach where you were sort of comparing the words on your own, maybe with a for loop, looking at each character in turn, you could find a word. Well, I guess it wouldn't be as simple as that. I was going to say as soon as you found characters that didn't match, but that wouldn't work, right? With anagrams, the characters can be mixed around however you want. So maybe my solution wasn't as bad as I first thought, but I'm sure there's a way to improve. But it was really easy to write, and I can I wrote it very quickly, and there's something to be said for that too. And it's not like you're ever set in stone when you do these, right? You can analyze the performance of your program, find out where you're getting killed, and then go refactor those parts, those methods, make them more efficient as they come up. So that's fine too. Where is anagram? Yeah, nice helper method. Okay, this guy was doing dictionaries, and then you can compare each letter to the number of counts. You sort of make a dictionary for any word. It would have, every character in it would have an associated letter count, and you could make sure all those counts matched on a per letter basis. That's fine. So yeah, let me see what you came up with. Otherwise, hit me up with those questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.